Actually, I don't know if it did start. Yeah, it says recording. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I had this idea, just kind of, and I was looking at it, and I said, hey, I guess we were over at a party over at Emily and E's house, and I was like, man, that'd be kind of a cool. Tim was there, I was shooting the shit with him, and because right before fantasy, I think it was right at the draft. I was like, maybe I'll do a draft recap, maybe I'll do whatever, because that's how a lot of these podcasts actually start. Is just literally just shoot the shit with their friends, and
that's what sometimes
it turns into these
shit before.
yeah. So I got a little bit of feedback from Tim. He was like, yeah, I'm definitely on board, and I couldn't never gain traction. Life is so busy over the last couple of weeks, and so now that we're 7 weeks in, I figured we might have an opportunity to go through it.
Yeah.
So basically, I mean, we kind of got started already if you wanted to go, but basically the idea of this is, here we are. This is the first episode, so to speak, of the West Iceland Fantasy Football Podcast. This is something I'd like to do moving forward, maybe weekly, get a little bit of, content going forward. What I've liked to try to do in the past is always engage the league. It's very easy to lose focus. I mean, this is year 11 of this fantasy football team. Most of us have been with us for, this whole time. I think Anthony's on his second stint there and back. Joey G, our original commissioner and owner, kicked this thing off 11 years ago. So that's a testament to some friendship. It's also a testament to commitment to fantasy football. So that's kind of cool. But like I said, we try to move things forward. And, we always tried to push it forward. I did the draft videos with the stupid penguin. Eventually try to edit things a little bit more. ESPN used to do these old power rankings, which everyone seemed to like. They dropped out. Of course, everyone seems to like the memes. Content of that usually takes a while. But now we tried this podcast thing. And then the return of the commissioner rankings. So I sent out some rankings yesterday. I hope everyone had an opportunity to take a look at that. That's kind of cool. I'd like to do that every week as well. So hopefully we'll bring that back. And then, like I said, maybe we'll get this going every week. Try to get a new host every week as well. And this week I'm joined with Kevin O'Farrell. So that's he's the perfect host this week, as we faced each other this week. He kicked my butt. We'll break that down a little bit later. He's shared the same passion for this. So, Kevin, welcome.
Hey, Dave. How you doing? Thanks.
Yeah. So, like I said, we're just trying to get things going. Basically, want to just cover a lot of some fantasy news. We want to cover NFL news. We want to cover league news. See, okay, hey, it's real simple to go ahead and regurgitate what these big fantasy football podcasters are doing or whatever it is. But the whole point is this is supposed to be engaging to the league, right? So we have 10 individuals that are most invested into this at least, and we can always get some other people. I know that a lot of people are shared in some other leagues like Joey's league and this, so it's always fun to hear some banter. But I guess the idea is to loosely go through all this. We'll go through some fantasy football news. And I mean, there's been some big news recently, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. A couple trades, rumored trades, some guys going some places.
As we approach the trade deadline, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I'm not wearing my Jets hat right now, but I'm always wearing my Jets brand. And we had a big injury for my man, Breece Hall. Breece Hall has been a stud. Absolute stud recently, and he seemed to have gone down with an ACL injury. Tried to make a move with this James Robinson, though. What do you think about this?
Well, lucked out for me because I had James Robinson.
Yeah, that was the perfect late round pick.
Yeah, and I had ETN in the other league, so this kind of just worked out perfect for me. But I actually think it'll be more Michael Carter. I think they rode him last year, and he wasn't bad at all. It's gonna take him a couple weeks to get assimilated to the offense. So I think Carter's the real stud coming out of that.
Yeah, Carter was the guy last year, and he's no Breece Hall. He's not the talent. I mean, it seems like he's never really gotten the opportunity, that guy. But we'll see how that turns out. Ultimately, for fantasy, I'm not sure it's going to make too much of a difference, though.
No.
I think it's just everyone's going to be missing Breece Hall.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, the next point, which we had Matt Ryan get benched over there in Indianapolis, so that seems to not make a difference as well. I actually had to play him last week in one of my other leagues. Bye weeks were bad, but the old man's getting benched after he was fifth or sixth all time in the passing league this year, passing yards.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. But like you were saying, if you were starting Matt Ryan, you had a lot of things have to go wrong, and a lot of people before that.
Yeah, I actually said I had to ride him last week with my 12 team league. I had Jalen Hurts on bye. It was not a pretty situation, so
I
he
ended up
actually
going with Trevor Lawrence.
wasn't available. Wouldn't have been. Wouldn't have been. But we had a great back for you, and I think you picked him up in a couple of leagues. You had a like investment. DeAndre Hopkins come back. This was the
Yeah.
return of DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, with Marquise Brown going down, this was the perfect timing for that.
Oh,
So
perfect timing. Even bringing in Robbie Anderson doesn't hurt at all either.
no,
Yeah,
no,
no.
he stepped right into that role. Got another 10 targets or something like that. He's gonna just be Kyler's safety blanket. He's just absolutely a stud.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to start from now on. I actually missed him in one league, didn't do it. But every year I kind of look at who's suspended, who's coming off of injury, and then just try to get them before it happens. And it worked out this year with DeAndre Hopkins. I remember making the pick and getting a text message from you both nights.
Yep, exactly. I had him rated usually around 9th or 10th round pick. You seem to jump on him right around the 7th or 8th. So
Yeah.
I got it just before right before it. So that was a good call. And the other couple of surprising options we have is Josh Jacobs. What has he been doing, and what is going right over there in I'm going to say Oakland, but I guess it's Las Vegas now, right?
Yeah.
What's been going on over there? It's nuts.
Yeah, no, he's kind of just became the focal point of the offense. For Waller owners like me, it hasn't been a great season. I mean, from tight end in general, it hasn't been good. And Renfro being down, he's kind of became the second option, and they're just feeding him. Seems to be working. They're actually winning, and he's putting up tremendous numbers. I don't think he's going to continue to get 35 plus a game. I mean, that's just crazy.
3 weeks in a row.
I know. I try to have him. It's working out great, but
It might have been the greatest trade.
I don't want to. It looks good. It's looked a lot better.
It's looking better. It's probably better than I could have done.
Yeah, that's kind of why I did it when I was talking to you. You were like, "Oh my God, it wasn't going to get anything better."
Yeah, no, and again, it's Josh Jacobs is going to continue to do this. He's just been the anomaly. Everyone who going to get draft day return on this.
Yep.
And the last thing, which I just thought was kind of a funny thing, is I mean, how cringy has Russell Wilson been? I mean, the whole Danger Witch thing, and I was listening to a podcast on the way home, and they were talking about catching on the flight over to London because they're over in London this week.
Oh, he's high stepping.
He's high stepping down the aisle, man. What is going on with this guy?
I have no idea, man.
He's doing the 1-2 step.
He's crazy. He's absolutely crazy. You see all the memes with like with the sandwich tree and all that stuff. I mean, he's having a horrible season, and he's probably got the best weapons he's ever had. Even with the injury to Williams, Judy and Sutton, you still
it's debatable, but absolutely, it's a very similar core. I mean, you'd say the same thing about having, some of the better running backs that he had before the injury, Chris Carson, and the same thing with Metcalf and Lockett over there. Very similar grouping, but yeah, he should be set up for success. Everyone had a great expectation of him this year, and
is Hackett that bad? Like, it could just be if it's cold. I have no idea, but it doesn't seem like anybody likes him either.
No, and I think he's just making the situation better. It's one of those where he's not making the situation better. Rather, he's just digging the ditch. And this might be the end of Russell Wilson.
Definitely, contract-wise, no. But having him, knowing if you didn't, hit that first quarterback run, knowing you had Russell Wilson to fall back on. I mean, there were a couple years where he was, one of the top three. But, like, he's to the point where is he even worth rostering at this point is a question.
I would say definitely not in this league at this point in time. And I think he's already ate the wire. If not, he certainly will. So that's it. I mean, I guess kind of what goes along with that, though, we've also had a lot of injuries. We talked about the injury to Breece Hall and what that looks like. It looks like it's an ACL, done for the year, and that directly affects Timmy. So I saw Timmy drop him today. We had waivers clear. It's not a good situation, my friend.
No. It's funny. I saw him on there and was like, just it sucks.
It sucks. Just starting to turn the corner.
Timmy Pickett, I was pissed. I thought he was right there. I saw him in that grouping of people I wanted, and thought I was going to have a shot at it, but it didn't happen.
No, that was turning out to be a great pick. But unfortunately, that's the end of that. I had J.K. Dobbins myself go down. Maybe not last week; he was down the previous, but we finally got some clarity on his situation. Going on the IR.
Weeks or he's out for the year.
Yeah, just bury him. I mean, we were waiting for him to come back, and whatever it is, just
you got one.
Bust.
You got 1 week with 2 short touchdowns, and that was it.
Yep. Yeah, it looks good on paper.
He was a keeper for me in another league, and he's just, I've had to just drop him.
Yeah, I'm 2 steps away from it. I think I have an extra roster spot on this league, so it kind of keeps things a little bit, deeper some of the rosters. But he's next to be cut for sure. He's just, what can you do with this guy? We also had Tim, as we talk about Tim and the devastating injuries he's had to deal with. Is Mike Williams' injury to his ankle. He is going into his bye, but he's going to be out for a couple weeks.
No, that one hurts. That one hurts. I mean, there are receivers. Like, I don't remember who's on ours right now, but there are some receivers that you can get, to fill a spot. But anything other, 4 weeks is.
No, he's been a little bit up and down too, but for the most part, you just can't replace that Mike Williams. And same thing. I got DK Metcalf. He's coming off. He got a knee injury. He says he wants to play this week. I don't believe that as well. He got carted off. This was another. I got to go poo situation. I don't know.
That's classic.
Yeah, and then a couple other little injuries that we had. We had a concussion to Amon-Ra St. Brown. That guy just can't stay on the field right now. I need him to be another one of those.
That could be a direct Tua thing because he looked fine, but that could be the NFL. Like anytime.
That's how they're going to do it this year, I think, and I think that might be the response to the whole CTE thing moving forward.
Yep.
Yeah, and then again, a couple other small. I don't want to discredit it, but we had Njoku go down too. He's been kind of one of these stars of the pickups from this tight end. As you mentioned before, tight end situation outside of top 2, and even Andrews had to put a couple stinkers. He had a stinker.
It's Kelsey. Everything else.
It's not good. So they're going to be missing him, and back to the wire. And then it looks like Zeke got a little bit of a knee injury. I'm not sure how serious that's going to be, but fire up Pollard.
Everything I've seen is he's fine. He came back in. He'll be good to go. The offense shouldn't change is everything that I've read.
Right.
Howard's going to get his touches regardless.
I think so, and I think there's going to be a couple more touches to go around with Dak back.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, it's going to hit it. We had waivers clear today, so we're not going to really hit on too much of that, but it looks like exactly what we picked up. Gus got picked up.
Yep.
A couple other flyers that are on there, and then the same cast of characters we were just talking about hit the wire. Yeah. So, it's we got through a busy bye week this past week, and
your
first big one. I think next week's another big one. This week's not too bad. I think we're gonna got that a little bit up ahead, but it's first bye week. All right. Hey, maybe we'll just jump right into matchups because I wanted to take a recap some of the matchups that we had this week, see what we had going on, what was compared. I mentioned before I had to go directly head-to-head with Kevin this week. I had a lot of players on bye, and he took advantage of it. Let's be serious. And I believe it or not, and I'll take a look at that right now. It seems like, he jumped me in the foul rankings and now has the number 1 seed. Well, I don't know the number 1 seed, but I think it might be, the number 1 seed and the top seed in my side of the bracket, right?
Yeah. So, he didn't even start the kicker. I mean, what mattered, but I was waiting all week. I'm like, what's he going to do?
The kicker strategy at that point.
Yeah, I knew it was coming. I'm like, is he going to do it? He's probably just going to let that kicker rot, and just.
Well, I mean, it's been a while since I've seen a kicker hit up for 50 points. So. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. So, I mean, basically, let me see if I can go ahead and share the screen. We can pull it up, or let's see. Presents now. All right. I want to go ahead and get this tab going.
Getting into it so I can see the.
Well, I should be able to pull it up right there for you and see what we got.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah, we're in business. Technology is a thing, man. So what we got going on here, like I had said, my kicker's not going to go hit for 50. So you crush me with 101.14 to a 58.9. That's just a trousing. But like I said, a lot of players on bye. I had all the Eagles, and my guy's just Tom Brady didn't pull through.
No, he's been doing nothing,
No.
absolutely nothing. But I had a couple guys go off pretty good, but there were a lot of lopsided scores this week.
I was about to say that we're going to jump into most of these, and the other segment that I want to try to do right after this is going to be a right decision, wrong decision, and it turns out that it didn't seem to make a difference at all in any of these matchups. They were so lopsided. I mean, there was no game that was closer than 30 points, or give or take. I think the one we're going to talk about was 27 points, and that was the very next, the next game, but the two more down, which we'll jump right into that one, I guess, was the. No, maybe it wasn't. It was John's game, I guess. It was John's game versus Back That Pass Up, which is now I'm going to call Christina, right? But it's still not. You got to change that name there, Brian.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, when's that going to happen?
Yeah. Well, the creativity is. We just created logos for everybody, so I don't know if we want to go change their names, but I got that. But yeah, that was the next closest game, and it seemed to not really make too much of a difference. It was 27 points, I think, and not there. We had Josh Jacobs go off. We're going to jump into, I guess, the next game. I mean, we're not really too much to cover for there, but we went into, I guess, the second game that we have here. I guess it's over here now, right? This year, This was my Suck My Ditkas versus the Real Estate Your Names, and that's just we got Joey B going against Anthony and
Jacobs. And it was
let's just talk about Josh Jacobs again. This is just running on the back of Josh Jacobs. Like, what? Another great pick.
Yep.
And surprisingly, Joey's team has been underperforming, but we'll go over through that as well. He's gotten lucky with some of these.
It's been his team's like the opposite of mine. I've just somehow won, but I have the fourth most points.
Yep.
It's kind of worked out.
Absolutely. I mean, I took a look at that before, and we were just going to look at some of the points for and points against, and right now, as I was just saying, is we have Joey B, who's got the 9th points for, so it's just his team's not doing it. He's getting a little bit lucky there, but so far he's in 6th. His team's just underperforming. This week he didn't get the win, so Josh Jacobs almost single-handedly beat him down.
Yep.
We were taking a look at. We just talked about the back to pass versus the scoregasms. Austin Eckler been great again, huh?
Yeah,
another 30-point game for him. This is not a PPR scoring league. Maybe next year we'll talk about that, but in a non-PPR scoring format, 24.7 points. But
and Juju found a way. Getting 20 points. That's huge in that game. He's teeting around 7 points. All season.
I think he hit the roulette wheel this week. Is who's it going to be over there? If it's not Kelsey, who's it going to be? But on the other side, Kittle put up a game. And I think we've been waiting for the breakout from George Kittle. Hopefully it'll happen. I don't know if CMC will open up some things for him over there now in San Francisco.
I'm interested in that.
At this point in time, it's kind of almost old news. I didn't even want to really touch upon it. It was kind of late to the show on that. But we'll see how that opens up with all the rest of the positions for him.
Debo won't be getting as many touches. That's for sure. Out of the backfield at least.
Yeah. I agree with that. And then, like I said, John's been holding his own. Saquon didn't have another stellar game, but he 14.5 points. He's been another one of those surprising bright spots of the season.
And then this game has the Bryce Hall and Mike. Yeah. It's just a rough week.
Well, I was just about to say that. And then we have Timmy's injury woes, which are basically having Bryce Hall go down, having Mike Williams go down, and I'm sorry, bud.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
It's a tough go.
Walker go off like that, and you lose. Yeah, that's just.
Look, I think that's going to be the new norm. Kenneth Walker looks like an absolute. I keep using the word stud, but he truly is. He looks like he's worth the draft capital that they invested in initially, and not so much fantasy draft capital, but like real life draft capital. We'll see that team can certainly use some offense. And then the last team which we had was basically the basement bowl there, which was our current champion, who's with the foosball, the devil, Josh, going from the championship to the basement here, going up against the I Love You Eli Joey G team, and I don't even know what to say about these guys.
No, they're starting Gino.
Starting Gino. We can talk about the ETN breakout, but
these are not 2011. Like, Gino starting. That's bad.
We wrote him off. He didn't write back.
But ETN should be good going forward.
ETN should be good moving forward. Hopefully, DJ Moore will turn it around, getting a couple more targets vacated with the Robbie Williams with Robbie Anderson and CMC leaving. And again, we need maybe the foosballs, the Devils team can turn it around. Pat Mahomes and Tyreek Hill is on that team. They should be able to turn that around.
Mostert too. That was a guy I tried getting off of waivers, didn't get him, and was like, damn.
Well, I think maybe Mostert and Tyreek specifically, that whole Miami offense is going to look a lot different with Tua back. So that was kind of a interesting week, like we talked about before. No one was really that close.
No.
The one thing that we did say was we had the right decision, wrong decision, and if we want to take a look at that, what we talked about earlier was, can I jump into this game? How does this work? Can I click on that?
Anybody can, you can.
No, I got to control it, but that's okay. We're going to hop into there. It's in the scoreboard, week 7. Some growing pains.
You can edit that.
If not, I can go ahead and hop right into John's team here and do it this way. And go to that last matchup. But basically, we had some points left on the bench.
Yeah.
There were some points on the bench there that were left. I make that too small. There it goes. And if we took a look at that Cowboys defense, your boys, what's been going on?
No, listen, that's the one thing that's actually like for real is that defense. Those guys, especially Micah, they're turning it over consistently. They did that last year. I didn't think it was going to hold up. Even Diggs, I was like, there's no way. They just keep turning the ball over. If they could play mistake-free offense, they got a shot, but I don't see it. But that defense, that's a team that, you look at the waiver wire, like, somebody drops them, I got to go get them. And right now, he's rostering 3 defenses. Now.
Yep, yeah. I didn't even catch that at that point. And you're looking at that.
It's looking like all week, because there's some guys that, the interesting options that were left out there. And he's got, 2 good defenses. The Broncos aren't horrible, but he's rostering 3 defenses right now.
Right. I mean, the Cowboys are, like I said, were the number 1 scoring defense last year. They look fantastic, turning the ball over, but you can do that in a 10-man league with an extra roster spot.
Yep,
so you can certainly do that.
That's why quarterback is so like. And what's funny is when I picked up Trevor Lawrence, I was playing Brian that week, right? So that morning, Brian texted me, and that was bad bye week for me. So Brian texts me, and he's like, he's just talking trash. And I'm like, I'm going to beat you with Daniel Jones. And I had Daniel Jones. And he was like, oh, it's bad when? And I said, you know what? Forget it. I ended up dropping Daniel Jones and picking up Trevor Lawrence. I actually tried to put him together with Ingram. Ingram. And then what ended up winning was Trevor Lawrence. So I text him back thanks, Danny Dimes. And he's like, yeah, I should have let him.
Let's not hate on Danny Dimes. I think he's the number 9 or 10 quarterback on the league right now. He's just been running a lot, 100 yards this past week. So if it's not Saquon, it's
pace for 800 or something like that.
Right now, I mean, he already had the bye week, but he's got more rushing yards than Jalen Hurts on the year. So should say something. I mean, I know why I'm sharing the screen here. We kind of went through a lot of these matchups. I wanted to take a look at some of these real life NFL matchups that are interesting for fantasy this upcoming week. I think I got them right here. So let's do that. See if I can jump screen. No, I can't. Let's stop presenting.
So what are you thinking? You know, you're hearing the names that are possibly going to get traded that could be huge. You know, you're hearing a lot of Jerry Jeudy, Chase Claypool. Like those trades can affect a lot of these teams. Big, like one of them ends up in Green Bay and becomes Aaron Rodgers' favorite toy. That could change real quick.
I'm not sure how much it's really going to matter, to be honest. I think I'm more looking about the fallout of the vacation, or what's being vacated on those departures. But I'm less interested will Claypool or one of these guys make a difference over with Green Bay? But I'm just not sure those guys are on the same page at all with Aaron Rodgers and what's going on with him too, man.
Dude's out of his mind. He's good, but he missed a bunch of throws himself.
Yeah, what he misses is Davante Adams, but
Davante Adams, he covers up a lot of holes, and that's a big body. You can miss him by a yard or two, and you just got to stretch out. They got the other Rodgers. He's like laid out, and he's like 6 foot.
Yeah, and they just need to get healthy over there. I mean, they had, I think, high expectations of Christian Watson. I think he's still dealing with
that. Yeah, he's coming back.
On the field. And, but ultimately, I think it's a lot of noise. I think the big one would be, say, Kareem Hunt. And if Kareem Hunt went to another contender, if Kareem Hunt went over to the Rams or something like that, then all of a sudden you have my interest.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That'd be the only one that I really see making a major impact. But other than that, and if I'm not mistaken, I think in this league, Kareem Hunt is on Team Joey G. I love you, Eli. So, trade bait.
People have to answer back in order for that to happen.
Yeah, well, I mean, that doesn't really happen. I mean, I think we only have, I don't think we have any trades in this league or so far this year. It's usually a difficult situation to get into.
I thought you and John did something.
No, that was over in the other one.
Oh, okay.
Trying to get that done for Jamal Williams, and it's just it's tough. I mean, we can always include some picks and some other things in some of the but redraft leagues are difficult. There's usually some players out there, but this year with points being down, it's tough. So guys, let's get some trades going.
Yeah, I'm always open.
Yep. Oh yeah, the phone line's always open. So, but we got a couple good matchups this week for fantasy. I mean, I'm particularly looking at the Dolphins and the Lions. Although on paper that might not be a great matchup. I'm just looking for a lot of points at that point in time. I'm Tua to get back to the norm. Maybe he can put up another 40 spot on that awful defense.
Yeah. Well, that one, the Jets versus the Patriots. Yeah, that one. You could see Garrett Wilson going off in this. The Jets defense themselves could actually put up some good points. This would probably be the Michael Carter week. Like if you needed to streamline a running back and you could get him.
Yeah, against that Patriots defense. That's not exactly my pick. They tend to stop the run and most importantly stop your best player. So could be good against the third string, second string, whatever they're dealing with quarterback over there. But Bailey Zappi.
That one be all right. I can't really see the rest of the screen. And next is
So yeah, I'm gonna scroll on down, going through the next game. So I was interested in I was more interested in this Dolphins Lions game, which I was talking about. Got a pretty high over under 51.5. Said hopefully they can.
There's a lot of weapons going in that game. There's Waddle, Hill, and Mostert and Gesicki. Just from the Dolphins. And is DeAndre Swift ever going to play?
I don't think this week. I think they got one more than the bye. They'll probably sit out.
So that's leaving Jamal Williams. I mean, has St. Brown been cleared yet?
He should be, but I officially don't believe he's been cleared yet either. So there's a couple pieces that might be missing. This line might be moved, but I think that more so on the Dolphins side. I think the Dolphins could just capitalize on a poor defense. Yeah. We were looking at the next game that has two more down. That Raiders-Saints game, kind of the same thing. Like, can we just have these?
It's
bad defenses. I don't know what's going on. The Saints are usually a good defense, but can we just light it up? Can Josh Jacobs continue to run wild?
I think you're going to see a lot of that. This would also this would be a great game if Waller could get his act together. He's a matchup nightmare. And I don't know. Jacobs is going to have a day because it's just the way it's been going. Again, I don't know if he's going to continue to drop 30s, but he's going to get you 15. Vontae Adams is going to be able to put some stuff up here. Is Michael Thomas playing?
He's Mr. Consistent. I don't know if Michael Thomas is playing. I mean, Chris Olave is going to continue to do his thing even with or without Michael Thomas. I've been loving him. He's been one of the best pickups for me this year. I want to shout out to Chris Olave. And I guess the big question that I have here is Alvin Kamara ever going to score this season?
I don't know.
Is it this week? Because
it should be. It should be. You could have said that a couple times.
But Taysom Hill, it just keeps running the ball from wherever. So they love him, hate Alvin Kamara.
I don't know how that's been working the way it has, but I mean, they've just been horrible.
Yeah. And I mean, the other big one that I'm looking at there, the last one that I have is for the Packers and the Bills. I mean, that if that lives up to the hype, that should be fireworks.
It could be. I actually like the Rams and the Niners.
Okay. Yeah, I like that game too.
I like that game a lot. That's a big divisional game. I think, there's a lot of guys going. This is probably when you really see Christian McCaffrey. The full week. How's that going to look? I've heard a lot of they might put him in the slot and you still have Wilson in the backfield and you still have Debo split out and Kittle out there. So that one I like. But I think if you own any of the Buffalo Bills, they're having a big week.
Yeah.
With the Buffalo Bills.
Yep, yeah. I love that. I love that, and they're coming off the bye week too, so they get going. But speaking about bye weeks, we have the bye weeks coming in this week. We have a couple bye weeks. We're just only 2 this week after the bad week, and I think we have another 6 next week too. Which
Chiefs
and the Chargers this week only though. But of course, the 2 great fantasy related teams. A lot of players on those 2 teams, so you're gonna be missing them. What we got obviously for the Chiefs. You got the quarterbacks. The quarterbacks on both sides, I should say.
We're going to have a different tight end one at the end of the week.
We could, but
somebody's going to have to, be the tight end.
Tight end on the week. Oh, yeah, okay. Tight end on the season. No, because I think Kelsey's got enough of a lead, even with the bye week.
Yeah. I just say it's going to be different.
Right.
Somebody's going to do something.
Yeah, someone's got to do something. I mean, you'd hope that it's Andrews who can step in, but it's going to be one of those guys. I can say that it won't be Gerald Everett on the other side, who's actually been a pretty good factor for the Chargers, especially with Keenan Allen down. But again, for the Chiefs, you're going to be missing Mahomes, Kelsey, Juju. I guess Juju's a thing now, right?
Yeah.
And then I guess whatever's going on with the running back situation, I don't really want to touch that with Clyde Edwards-Helaire and the new starting running back, Isaiah Pacheco.
I don't know. It's like they just don't trust him. I don't know what it is. Like, he'll look good. He's that guy. He gets like 2 or 3 good games, and then he's gone. They just replace him.
Yeah,
every year.
They just don't. They don't need anybody back there, right? I mean, it was more prevalent. You really didn't need them when you had the Tyreek taking the top off, and so this year you see a couple more holes, but they just don't need anybody back there.
No.
And then again for the Chargers, we were talking about the quarterbacks. We got Herbert, who hasn't looked like himself, but he's coming back from the rib injury, and we'll be missing him.
Weapons.
Yeah, I mean, he's just really been. Well, I guess Josh Palmer and Keenan Allen, right? But I mean, Austin Eckler has been absolutely awesome.
Yeah, he's been good. I was never a believer, but just a couple years now.
At least 2 in a row, he's been injury prone. I mean, I don't really feel it in this league, not PPR, but I mean, he's on pace to catch 100 balls or something stupid.
Which in that Bills Packers game, could you start both Packers running backs?
One of them's on the waiver wire is all I have to say at this point in time.
Yeah.
So that adage, we didn't really cover waiver wire this one, but drop it like it's hot. See who was dropped. But you can't. I can't. I don't trust AJ Dillon.
No,
impossible. The Bills defense. This is the worst week to try to do that against that defense, and I can't do it regardless. And then hopefully after the bye though, you get Keenan Allen back on the Chargers side, so that'll be helpful. We have a couple bad matchups this week, which I'm just not interested in any of these games. I mean, they're kind of more back up at the top. Actually, right here in the middle of this page, I mean, this might be the lowest over-under of the year with a 39.5 with this Commanders Colts game. Like, this is going to be another field goal fest.
Well, maybe Taylor has a big week. Maybe, he's coming back. The Commanders, I mean, they have a good defensive line, but
well, it's horrible. The same thing. Second string, third string quarterbacks playing each other. I mean, again, Matt Ryan getting benched. I mean, who are they playing over there? Sam Ehlinger,
a kid out of Texas.
Yeah, so they'll see what he's got. But their season again, I would like to say just by how poorly they're playing, their season's done. But they're 3-3 right now in a crap division. So,
I mean, if that team's going to go how Taylor goes.
They need him back.
Yeah, that's gonna go, and then hopefully Pittman can make some plays.
Yep. Yeah, they need it. They need him back. They need somebody to throw them the ball, but they need Taylor back for sure. For sure. We have the Titans Texans game, which again just divisional matchup. We know that the division is kind of that's not divisional. It's divisional. I'm sorry. Yeah, just crap.
Yeah, but you look at it, the Titans are 4-2.
Yep. Yeah, but again, they always are the cream of the crop in that division. Since Peyton Manning has left, they've been the cream of the crop of that division.
No, and Henry's not even really,
No, it's not on Henry's back this year.
The Texans, I mean, Pierce. That's probably the only thing to watch. I have him. I'm starting him, but that's the only thing in that game to watch. I mean, who else are you rostering in that?
No, like you just said, you're starting Henry, you're starting nobody else on the Titans side, and then it's Pierce on the Texans side, maybe Cooks. I'm starting Brandon Cooks in PPR league. It's one of my other ones. That's my 12-man league. So 3 wide receivers. So I'll run with him, but I don't like it.
Nothing.
I don't like it, but it's. There's no one else that's really interested, but Dameon Pierce has been another bright spot. I think he, along with Breece Hall, we're starting to look like, hey, this is the middle round picks that we're starting to really pop.
Make it interesting.
Maybe Dameon Pierce will just continue that along. But yeah, I agree with you. That's very interesting, and I think he's going to help out a lot of rosters. He might be a league winner this year. And then, we have the Broncos and Jags. Broncos and Jags in London this week, right? So we have the resident London Jaguars going over there again for every single year. I don't really know what that's about, but again, they have a following, and their management loves it.
There, the whole way there, high step, so he'll be all right.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a dangerous situation going on. I don't know. I guess again, it must be the hamstring or whatever he's got, the Wolverine blood coming back around. He thinks he's going to be fantastic, but like we said before, I'm not sure. I think he lost a lot of respect to that franchise in the locker room. So,
everybody, and they can't. Everybody from Seattle can't wait to talk about him.
I really would just love to hear what the conversations sound like between he and Sierra behind closed doors. She's just she closes the door and she's like, "What did you do today? Why did you what were you thinking?"
He can't be doing that, because if she was doing that, he'd somewhat change. He just keeps getting weirder and weirder and weirder, and he just keeps regressing. And
do you think it might be the air? He's up higher now, because of Denver? Or?
No, I don't know. I mean, they're stuck with him for a while.
Yeah, that's not going anywhere. That's not going anywhere. But again, that's going to be another one.
Quarterbacks go to die.
under the Elway regime, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, and that's kind of what I'm looking at there. So there shouldn't be too much that's coming out of those games. I mean, again, if we're talking about that game, I think the only bright spot in both sides is ETN, and that's it.
Yeah, you might be rostering, Christian Kirk or something like that.
Yeah, in a non-PPR situation, again, specific to this,
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be rostered. I don't know whose team he's on for this one, but he's not going to make it in anyone's starting lineups at this point in time. So, yeah, it just kind of is what it is. There we go. Cool. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my intent. That's what I want to do moving forward. I think that went really well. I'm going to kind of take that same format. I might try to do something like that for each week, and then get some more feedback from you guys. I mean, this worked out great. I just want to talk to somebody about it, not talking to the wall.
Yeah,
and, some content for the team.
I'm down.